What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Dispatch. Um, Bit of a change of scheduling here. I'm an idiot and forgot that the Oscars are on tonight, and so not only do I plan on watching those, but I also don't want um, to have to compete with the Oscars because I'm losing that battle every time. So any viewership that I might have had, people would have gone to the Oscars instead. What's up, Laren? How you doing, bro? So we're doing the show early today, right before I go to work, as a matter of fact. And dude, let me tell you, there is a lot of news to go through. I actually had so many articles that I wanted to talk about that I actually had to not include some. They were minor things, but like things that I found, you know, honestly, they were just things that I would have made a comment or two about. So like no great loss. We're just going to get right into it because there is a lot of stuff to talk about. Some of these things I'll have more to say about and less to say about. So, same as always, but let's get right into it. James Cameron made a comment about Avatar Fire and Ash with saying that it'll begin with a title card that says no generative AI was used in the making of this movie. I don't really, I've made my comments on like my thoughts on AI in movies pretty clear. I don't really think that we need it. So I'm glad that James Cameron is not doing that because it feels like the technology that he's involved in is pretty like tangentially related to like AI. Like it could be very easy for him probably to include it. But he decided not to. So that's cool. So yeah. No AI in Avatar 3. This was like a kind of a funny headline. This comes to us from Discussing Film. Marvel exec Brad Winderbaum confirms they are now actively developing the first X-Men movie. That is the focus of X-Men currently. We found out that they were that they had bought X-Men back in 2019, and they're just now actively developing the first X-Men movie, like 5 years later, a little more than 5 years later. So I didn't think it was going to take them this long. Obviously, COVID happened, and we had a writer's strike and stuff that maybe could have slowed things down. But yeah, I just thought it was funny that we're just now, like they're just now starting to talk about that. So, this happened at the Screen Actors Guild Awards. Timothée Chalamet won Best Actor, and he had this really cool speech, or something that I found cool anyway. So it's kind of divisive, but he basically just says in this speech, like, yo, like I want to be one of the best ever to ever act, like one of the best actors of all time. It was a very different kind of speech. Yeah, he goes on to say, I know people don't usually talk like this, but I want to be one of the greats. I'm inspired by the greats. Some people found it to be like kind of in poor taste. I didn't really get that at all. I thought it was a cool speech. I'm a big Timothée Chalamet fan, so I thought it was cool. He seems like a really, down to earth dude, as much as one can be as a Hollywood actor. But I just thought that was cool. It was a refreshing kind of speech that you don't really see often. Moving right along, this comes to us from Polygon. So there was an article that came out saying that Stephen King was co-writing the Dark Tower adaptation with Mike Flanagan. That's now been debunked. Stephen King has come out and clarified that that is not the case. I believe that there was just like a misunderstanding or a misinterpretation of something that King had said. But yeah, contrary to the internet, which is usually never wrong, I am not writing for Flanagan's Dark Tower. So a little disappointing, I guess. I thought that would be so cool if like Flanagan and King like worked on it together. But not the case. So regardless, I'm still optimistic that whatever Dark Tower movie or show we get in the future will be good as long as Flanagan's involved. This one's a quick one to talk about. James Gunn confirms a Teen Titans movie is in the works. I'll just say I really loved the Teen Titans show back in the day. the animated series on Cartoon Network. Really liked that. So hopefully it'll be somewhat related to that. Yeah, the version I watched, you had Raven, Starfire, Cyborg, Beast Boy. I don't know. I guess that's the son of Flash. I'm not too versed in the comic book world, and this seems to be like a young Wonder Woman. Um, so hopefully that's good. As a fan of the old show, so this is a bunch of DC news. Actually, they had a big announcement that they that they came out with. They're also getting a Starfire and Green Lantern animated shows. I thought this was interesting because we're getting this Green Lantern live action show with Aaron Pierre Johns, I think is his name, and Kyle Chandler. But they're also doing an animated thing. Excuse me. So yeah, lots of DC stuff coming out. Yeah, all of this is from Discussing Film. The following DC projects have had problems in development. Waller, that's the Viola Davis thing. Booster Gold, showrunner almost joined but lost interest. And The Authority, the script had a harder time coming along. Booster Gold sounds like it would be a good time based on what I heard about that. And The Authority also seemed pretty cool. But this is the problem, man. Like when you announce all these new shows and all these new movies, and it's like, all right, well, who's doing all this? Like, this is a lot of work and takes a lot of time. So, yeah, hopefully they didn't bite off more than they can chew. More DC related news. Production outlook is end of the year 2025. So that would mean that they have wrapped at least filming, and I don't know if that involves post production or not. So the release date is still October 1st, 2027. So that's depressing. What's up, Eli? I like Titans on Max, way more adult show. I never watched that. Is that the one with that God, what's his name? I can't remember the guy's name. He plays Robin / Nightwing. I forget his name. So this is in regards to the Sergeant Rock news that we had talked about last week with Luca Guadagnino and Daniel Craig. Apparently, Daniel Craig was never attached to play it, and they had never even met with him. So that kind of dispels that rumor there. So yeah, anyone anticipating that can now rest easy knowing that Daniel Craig was never involved. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, I like that guy. He's pretty good. Yeah, so this is kind of what I was talking about. DC has set a goal to release 7 projects a year. That seems like a lot. 2 live action films, 1 animated film, 2 live action shows, and 2 animated series. There's a plan set for the next 6 years. So I like that they have a plan. That's, a big improvement over the previous DC regime. But this just seems like a lot. Like, this is more than Marvel was ever doing. That Marvel was doing like 4 movies a year, I think, at one point. It's a lot, man. More superhero stuff. A Punisher special is in the works at Marvel Studios. John Bernthal will return. So this is probably going to be in line with something like Werewolf by Night or the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, where it's just kind of like a one-off, but will potentially leave the door open for more Punisher stuff. I haven't seen this version of Punisher, but I hear it's pretty good. So maybe I should check that out at some point. This was a pretty exciting headline. Excuse me for a moment. This comes to us from Culture Crave. The Russo brothers were asked about the upcoming Avengers films, and they said, quote, "These movies are going to be a surprise to people. We found a way into the story that's very exciting to us, but very radical. We think it's going to challenge audiences." Hell yeah, Eli. So this is exciting to me. If what they're saying here has any merit to it, which, I'm inclined to think it does. Listen, I'm excited for this. I'm very curious to see how they bring back Downey. as Doom. Oh yeah, bro. They're doing Doomsday and Secret Wars, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me. But yeah, this is like the best thing you could tell me as far as this news. Like, I want to see something different. I want to be challenged, quite frankly. So, because lately Marvel has done anything but challenge me. This is cool. 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith is this year. We can see this movie in theaters again in April 25th. I'm definitely going to go see it. I don't think I ever saw this movie in theaters back when it initially came out, but like, look how badass this poster is. I have Twitter like super zoomed in for this live stream, but like, this is a badass poster. They always kill it though with these re-releases. The Phantom Menace one was sick too. So yeah, that'll be dope. This was a weird headline. Ayo Edebiri to write and in talks to star in Barney live-action movie from A24, Mattel, and Daniel Kaluuya. I blame Barbie for this. I don't know, like what does an A24 Barbie or excuse me Barney Ayo Edebiri movie look like? And when it says she's in talks to star, does that mean that she's going to play Barney? Like, I have so many questions. But yeah, this is 100% of living in the aftermath of a post Barbie society. Yeah, I mean, on its face, I'm not interested at all either. I have no idea what it will look like, though. I think I need a trailer to really say for sure. Moving right along here, folks. This is the other big headline of the day. John Lithgow confirms he will play Dumbledore in the Harry Potter series. It's going to define me for the last chapter of my life. I'll be about 87 years old at the wrap party, but I've said yes. I do think this is okay. This is like okay casting. I was more kind of set on the Mark Rylance casting, primarily because he's a little younger than John Lithgow. And I don't really like to be morbid, but like he says he'll be 87. I hope he makes it that long. Yeah, not to be negative, but we've already dealt with this before with another Dumbledore, so I would just really hate to see that like happen again. And yeah, but I think this is good. I think this is good. I think he'll do a great job. I like John Lithgow. But like, even though Dumbledore is very old, you can still cast like a guy even in his 50s and just like age him up in makeup, like he doesn't actually have to be that age. So is what it is. This kind of annoyed me. Two anonymous Oscars voters said they didn't vote for Ralph Fiennes because he won before. They both believed that he had won an Oscar for Schindler's List, which he did not. So Oscar voters are just stupid. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how you even get in the Academy. Probably have to be, pretty well off, I would imagine. But like, I read this and then I remembered I had read another article about how some Oscars voters just didn't watch The Brutalist because it was too long. And it's like, dude, you're in the Academy. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, is watch these long movies. Like, you understand how privileged you are? Like, I don't know. Yeah, that bothered the shit out of me when I read that. And then so this, like, they don't even know. Like, I know people online who know more about, film. And obviously this is just two members. It's not representative of the entire, Academy, but like, it's just disappointing to hear. Like, dude, you are an Oscars voter and you don't even know who's won before. Like, whatever. So I should probably excuse me, sorry. So I have to talk about this first. I don't know how this became ahead of this in the timeline. I have to talk about this first before I talk about the next article. I have not. I have heard of this. I have heard the title of this movie though before, and I haven't heard anything else. So maybe I'll watch the trailer for that. I am trying to watch less trailers though, so we'll see. Yeah. So the other big headline of the day, or the week, I should say, Kathleen Kennedy is expected to retire. So that came out, and then let's see. And then so that was leaked apparently that she was retiring, and then this article came out a couple days later clarifying that saying that she is not retiring but has been looking at an eventual succession plan for a new leader of Lucasfilm. So that sounds like you're retiring, right? Like, am I crazy? We'll probably make an announcement months or a year out, and I have every intention of sticking around to help that person be successful. Well, probably wouldn't worry about it too much, Kathleen, because you yourself have not been very successful. I don't think there's anyone who would claim otherwise. So this just sounds like, I don't know what this, like, she's like, oh, I'm retiring, but I'm not. Like, I'm gonna eventually, but not right now. Like, not today. Which, well, it's like, yeah, of course, no one thinks you're retiring like today, but like, it's coming. Like, you're gonna retire by the end of this year. So I don't know why she felt the need to kind of like backpedal there, but yeah, just go, Kathleen. Nobody cares if you stick around. And then so following up with that, which is the article I had up here a moment ago, many insiders believe the best candidate for the Lucasfilm president job is Kevin Feige. One source says Disney's top choice is Dave Filoni, but another disagrees. He will be killed by all sides. I don't know what that means. I don't understand. I don't really think. I don't know that Kevin's I mean, he seems like an obvious choice, but he's got Marvel, so like he couldn't do both. So he would have to leave Marvel to come do Star Wars. But it's like, no, just leave him with Marvel and take Dave Filoni, like, whatever. I don't really. I'm out on both of these franchises until proven otherwise, like that they can both start to deliver quality products again, quality films and so on. So yeah, this news doesn't really affect me much. If anything, I think the shakeup will be good. I think that if anything, it means that better times are possibly on the horizon. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how all that shakes out. I imagine we'll have more information as the year progresses. AMC CEO Adam Aron says 17-day and 30-day theatrical windows are too short, and there's a very live debate right now to have movies in theaters for longer. This is something that's been going around for a while now. The theatrical window has shrunk so much. Yeah, and it's just like this kind of top comment is the main sentiment. Like, I don't know that this number is necessarily accurate. I think this is a hyperbolic number, $50. Listen, I don't expect everyone to sign up for like AMC A-List or Regal Unlimited. But the way that this guy talks, it sounds like he's going to be seeing a lot of movies. Or maybe not. But the point is that it does not cost you $50. Maybe if you have like a family of 4 and, you know, you're all getting large popcorn and snacks and soda, but tickets do not cost $50. And so it's just a question of do you want to see movies in theaters or not? And do you value that theatrical experience or not? Some people do and some people don't. And you can have both, but the problem comes about when you're not putting value on when studios are not putting value on their own movies having a theatrical experience. Because the way it's set up right now is that these movies get put in theaters for like a little over 2 weeks, and then you can watch it at home. And that to me says that studios don't even have faith in their own movies to make money in theaters, which is kind of an interesting thing now that I'm thinking about it. And I guess they seem to think that they'll make more money at home. And by the sooner you get it at home, then the more you can make more money, because people, I guess, just aren't going to theaters. So it's unfortunate, but it's like you can't really change someone's mind about something like that. Like if someone would rather watch it at home, like there's not really anything you can tell them to make them feel differently. So it's so much just a preference-based thing, and the preference has skewed to at-home viewing, and that's sort of just the way it is, despite however I might feel about it. So this article came out, Daniel Radcliffe being eyed to play Clayface. And then I don't know if I have it here, but apparently this was debunked by James Gunn, and James Gunn came out and said, no, we haven't even talked to Dan. So like, I don't know where this shit is coming from, but yeah, I think it might just be made up by people to get clicks. So yeah, no, although I would have liked to have seen this. I think Daniel Radcliffe would have been great for this. Speaking of bozos who just make shit up, David Zaslav reportedly condemned the Warner Bros. Film heads Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdy in a meeting after Joker 2 flopped. He also criticized them for the mounting costs of the studio's upcoming releases. All this guy does is like penny pinch and like try to just make, understandably so, right? He tries to make as much money for the studio as possible, but he doesn't do it in a way that is like artist friendly. Like he fucking scrapped the Batman or the Batgirl movie, so that's just in a vault now, and we'll never see that. It's looking like we'll never see the Coyote versus Acme movie, which would have been in line with something like Looney Tunes Back in Action, if you guys are familiar with that. So like this guy, David Zaslav just fucking sucks. He's such a fucking loser. Like this is your fault just as much as it is theirs, dude. Like Joker 2 sucked, but like that's on you for making it. Like it was a movie born from cynicism. You took this one movie that, regardless of how you feel about it, was different from other comic book films, and it made $1 billion based on it. It made $1 billion based on like the hype of because of the Aurora situation that happened with Dark Knight Rises. I don't want to like talk too much about that, but like there was a lot of controversy around that, and people were worried that would happen again, and they were, there was all this conversation in the media about how this movie was advocating for like, the movie actually is advocating for mental health, and a lot of people thought that it was the opposite. So it was receiving criticism for that before it had even come out. So that's like a very unique approach for a comic book film. And then it happened to make $1 billion almost by accident. Like, I don't think that the movie itself is like a quote unquote $1 billion movie, whatever that, really means. But it's also a Joker movie. So like the Joker is, or at the time was thought to be, something that couldn't miss. But, obviously it had with something like Suicide Squad. So it's like, Warner Brothers just saw dollar signs, and they didn't take into account that you can make a movie that has the Joker in it that is not well received, even though they had already done that, like I said, with Suicide Squad. So I guess they just thought that this couldn't miss. And, it's David, it's your fault, David Zaslav. He's like punching down and like blaming these other people. Like, Dude, I'm pretty sure you're the one who had to co-sign this, but whatever. Pretty sad news here. Michelle Trachtenberg dead at 39. As you know, I'm a big Buffy fan, or maybe you don't know that. I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's my favorite show of all time. Apparently, she had a liver transplant and had complications from that, and she died from that. So very, very upsetting. I was maybe hoping to see her in the Buffy reboot that we're getting. So this just sucks. 39 is entirely too young. So yeah, not much else to say about that, unfortunately. Just a real bummer. Christopher Nolan was interested in directing a James Bond movie after doing Tenet, but was told he wouldn't get a say on decisions for the film's final cut. So what did he do? He went and directed Oppenheimer instead. What an absolute shad move. I mean, first of all, you'd have to be such a dumbass to just not give Nolan final cut. Like, even prior to Oppenheimer, just give him final cut. And now after Oppenheimer, like, yeah, dude, he's getting final cut. Like, I don't, but I'm glad he didn't get caught up in Bond, honestly, because Bond doesn't deserve Nolan, if I'm being honest. Moving right along here, folks. Steven Spielberg's new UFO movie is now filming. Hollow Notes in the house. What's up, man? This is cool to see. We talked a little bit about this maybe a week or two ago. Emily Blunt, Wyatt Russell. This is going to be a big role for Wyatt Russell. I like him as an actor, and I think this is going to really like blow him up. Same with Coleman Domingo, probably. Coleman Domingo is well known, but this could definitely like and you know what, Josh O'Connor too from Challengers. Like, this could be a star-making movie for all of them, and it's cool to see Spielberg returning to UFOs after having done like E.T., Close Encounters, War of the Worlds. Like, the guy knows UFOs, so it'll be interesting to see him doing UFOs at this late stage of his career. This was like, I was so perplexed by this headline. Zendaya has been cast as Shrek's daughter in Shrek 5. People are up in arms about the design of Shrek. I don't remember if I don't seem to have that here. We can talk about it here, though. So, like, the first Shrek came out in, like, what, 2005? 2004. Oh, wait, no. 2001. So, like, computer animation was still very rudimentary at the time. And, like, it didn't really look good, but it didn't look really bad either. I think at the time it was very advanced, but now with the benefit of 20 plus years removed from Shrek, we've come a long way. So, like, people were upset about the way that Shrek looks now, and it's like, we're just better at animating stuff. Like, I don't really understand. Sure, why not? Hello, how you doing? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care much about Shrek, to be honest. I think the Puss in Boots movies are better than Shrek is at this point. Yeah, here we go. Kyle Chandler is Hal Jordan. Aaron Pierre is Jon Stewart. So this was kind of described as like, I think people described it as like True Detective, but with Green Lanterns. And I love True Detective, so this might be very good. I'm not really sure. But I'm excited. I really liked Aaron Pierre in Rebel Ridge. The movie was really good. So I'm excited. I agree, Eli. There's something to be said for finality. Excuse me for coughing so much, folks. We've got a very unfortunate, a very unfortunate celebrity death. Gene Hackman and his wife, dead after some suspicious activity here. Pills were found. They've ruled out carbon monoxide poisoning. I think we still don't really have any answers to this as of this day. Yeah, just unfortunate. Gene, I think Gene was like 93. So, like, I'm not going to say that it's any better because of that, but like when I had heard that he died, I thought it was just of like natural causes, but now there's all this suspicious activity involved. So, yeah, at this time we don't really have any more information, but Gene Hackman was an absolute legend. So, rest in peace to him. Coming into the end here now. We're getting another Fear Street movie, May 23rd from Netflix. I enjoyed the Fear Street movie trilogy that came out 2 years ago now. Those were fun. Nothing, mind blowing or anything, but they were fun. So I'm glad that they're doing more of them. I think that was the biggest takeaway that people had, was that they wanted to see more. There's so many Fear Street movies that books that you could adapt. So that seems like an obvious layup for Netflix. So, this is kind of like a nothing headline. I'm not even really sure why I bookmarked this one, if I'm being honest. Apparently this is still happening. Kathleen Kennedy, Sean Levy, Ryan Gosling. Maybe 5 or 6 years after the Rise of Skywalker. I don't even really know what this could be. Like, is Ryan Gosling playing a Jedi? Like, what's his role? Why is it significant that it's after Rise of Skywalker? Like, is Daisy Ridley going to be in it? I don't know. I'm very much in wait and see mode with all these like Star Wars properties. And one last bit of fun Star Wars news for us. Kathleen Kennedy says Taika Waititi is now working with a new writer for his Star Wars movie. This was announced like years ago that we're getting a Taika Star Wars movie. It's been like at least 2 years. And then this quote is hilarious to me. I think if we ever do get a script from Taika, I mean, right there. Like, why is this an if thing? Like, I think if we ever do get a script from Taika, is this just like optional for him? I don't know. Maybe this is taken out of context and she's being sarcastic or something. It's going to be fantastic. I already saw first act that I loved, but tying him down, it's tricky. What the fuck does that even mean? Like this, like headlines like this just give me no confidence whatsoever in the future of Star Wars. None whatsoever. I'm doing a video essay on a horror movie that's based on a video game. That's all I'll say for right now. But yeah, this is just like, I don't even want to see this, if I'm being honest. I don't really think Taika Waititi. He had a lot of goodwill, but then he kind of ruined that for me with the Thor movie, and then just the way he kind of acted in the wake of the Thor movie, like in like press interviews and stuff. He just had a really bad. He just came off poorly to me and a lot of others. So, but but all right, that's it. I thought we had a lot of stuff, and I guess we did, but we kind of worked through it all pretty quickly. And I do have to get ready to go to work, so I'm glad I was able to get this out before the Oscars tonight, because yeah, that would have been a waste of my time and a waste of your time, because we all want to watch the Oscars and we don't want to watch me do the news, at least while the Oscars are on. So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for sticking around and watching the news, Laren. Have fun and enjoy the Oscars tonight, guys. It should be a good show. Eli, I'll probably miss the first hour, but I think that'll be okay because I think that's usually when they do a lot of the awards that I don't really care about. So I'll be there for all the good stuff. But all right, guys, have a good night and take care and watch more movies.